This is something from another story from the Great Depression, but from a whole other standpoint. It's a true story, but the names have been changed to protect the guilty. It's called Who Can You Trust? And we often trust others with our feelings, our money, even sometimes with our lives. But how can we know who's truly worthy of our trust and who won't betray us? Oops. It's a good question. Who can you trust? Can you trust your best friend or your boss? Certainly you can trust the love of your life, can't you? To give an example, there was once a famous and fabulously wealthy bootlegger, whom we shall call George. In his younger days, George worked in a pharmacy to help support his family. Eventually, George became a lawyer and made quite a bit of money. Shortly after that, Prohibition came about in the United States, and George noticed that many of his clients who defied the new law by importing and selling liquor were much more wealthy than even he. Never one to let an opportunity go by, George became a bootlegger, and a very successful one at that. But nothing lasts forever, and George was eventually arrested, tried, and convicted, and sent to prison for 2 years. Before going up the river, George left his beautiful, loving, and devoted wife, Imogene, in charge of all his affairs. We know what's coming, folks, don't we? While in prison, George told his cellmate, Frank, about how his wife was handling everything for him. Only Frank was not just another inmate. He was an undercover Prohibition agent. Frank began an affair with George's wife, Imogene, and soon resigned his job. Imogene and Frank proceeded to wipe George out, stealing all of George's assets worth many millions of dollars. George completed his sentence, and when he learned what Imogene and Frank had done, let's just say that George was not pleased. The final straw had been when George returned to his luxurious and finely furnished home. He had shared with his wife and found that there was not a stick of furniture left. As a final insult, Imogene divorced George. On his way to the final divorce hearing, George spotted Imogene in a car with her daughter. George ordered his driver to force her off the road. Then he pulled out his gun and shot Imogene dead. George then calmly turned himself into the police. He was reported to have said, "I am now satisfied. She who lives in the primrose path also dies in the primrose path." George's trial was a national sensation. He defended himself brilliantly, pleading temporary insanity. The jury took only 19 minutes to reach a verdict. Not guilty. George walked away a free man and lived the rest of his life without incident. I guess he'd had enough excitement for one person. I wonder if he ever fully trusted anyone after that. Thank you.